Good morning, my dear fairy loving friends, and welcome to today's pick a card reading. And you can see that I'm inviting you into my fairy garden. Did you know that one of the things the fairies are the very best at is guiding us to use our imaginations? When you were a little kid, your imagination was alive and well, and everything in you was in and out of a brain that couldn't think too much. Once upon a time, in a land far away, you were not an overthinker. You were not someone who fussed over details. And you weren't someone who got discouraged when bad things happened. Good morning, Tanisha. Good morning, Kane. Isn't it true that our imaginations were once far more accessible, where it was so easy to enter into that world? Well, today I am creating a very special reading for us about making a wish. Good morning, Sophia, Kane, Tanisha. You guys, welcome, my faithful followers. Today I posted something, a little video of my shadow on the channel, and I hope you had a chance to see it because the truth is that there is a shadow part of us, hi Gigi, that is trying to keep us from using our imagination. There's a part of us that there's so much pain in our past because of, oh gosh, my throat's already getting a little bit scratchy because when we talk about the pain in our past and the shadows that are holding us back, this is what can keep us from making the wish that we really, really want. And so today, welcome to my pretend fairy garden, because of course, this is not my real fairy garden, but in my mind, it is today, because I just want to rejoice in what is possible when things feel impossible. So I brought my little lizard friend, and he's walking into the garden to guide us into believing in wishes. So as I allow this beautiful Palo Santo to lift up all of your cares, all of your worries, just lift them off of you for a little while we can look at what the fairy world has to say to us when it comes to what we're wishing for. So, y'all know I really appreciate when your gratitudes are at the forefront of your mind. It's an extra blessing for me today. But you know what? The fairies kind of said, Catherine, people get tired of being grateful. And I went, what? People do not get tired of being grateful. And the fairies whispered to me, oh, yes, they do, because some of us don't see enough good results and it feels like our life is in flames. So the fairies said, it's Sunday. Let's give everybody a break and just make wishes. So, do you have a wish? Do you have a wish that you want fulfilled? We are ready, me and my fairy helpers. So I thank Tanisha for being here with me today to just help to make everybody comfortable and to allow the spirit to move. Okay, I just have to move my Palo Santo because it doesn't want to stop smoking. So I'm just going to move it to the side so that it's not too heavy, but I'm going to allow it to continue to bless us. Now, hold on a second. I just am feeling drawn to pick up. Oh, yes. Okay, so I picked up this deck for us to use also, the Avalon Magic. And so I'm going to use that deck. I was only going to use my Fairy Oracle today because you guys know I really love this deck, and that's my main deck for the day. But I'm just feeling that some of us may need a little Avalon Magic, so we'll set that to the side. I want to introduce you to my fairy wand. I call her Lilith because that name just appeals to me. And it's also a deeply ancient name. And when I look at my fairy wand, this used to be the center of a huge nautilus shell. And when you look at that, imagine the time that would have had to go by for erosion to create this piece of art. The aqua aura quartz at the crown are a specially treated quartz, and it helps to create that feeling of magic. So I'm going to use this beautiful wand with us today. And now I see I've been babbling on for 5 minutes without drawing a card. And so I appreciate that. You are patient with me. And my dear magnificent success, welcome. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for chit-chatting with each other. I do want to mention, why is it that this lizard wants to come to the reading? Does anybody remember? Any of my regular wonderful family? Thank you so much for being part of my life, you guys. Who remembers the lizard magic? Who can tell me why it is that we honor the lizard? Okay, so if whoever remembers why we honor the lizard, yes, what is it about the lizard that makes that lesson, Kane? It is about transformation. What is it about the tail of the lizard that we talk about here? Can anybody remember? I'm going to just shuffle up. Whoever can remember why the lizard teaches something to us, you are going to be my very first wish of the day. Remember, there's something about the tail of a lizard. What does it do? Yep, Kane, exactly. And then does it have to live forever without? Exactly. Excellent, excellent. Nature has empowered the lizard. Do you think the lizard has to do anything to make its own tail grow? No. The universe helps. That's part of the plan. So that means when somebody has disappointed you in the past, guess what? Your own being has the power to regenerate. And that's why the lizard is strolling into the garden to facilitate our readings today. Okay, so we will first, Kane, we'll do a wish for you, and then Magnificent, you will be next. Now, what is it that you're wishing for? This is sometimes what I talk about with what is it that we're manifesting for. So you might wish for a new job, you might wish for a new relationship, you might wish that your SP would please recontact you, but whatever your wish is today, that's what I'm going to be drawing cards for. Alrighty? So I'm just going to step away. I just need another cushion to sit on. Make sure I can see your messages. You guys should see how I do these readings. I have my own comfort zone. Okay, who has a wish for me? Hi, Livy. Oh man, you are right. Jesus and all of God in God's majesty, the divine has nothing but love and appreciation for you. So thank you for reminding us that. Okay, Cain, what do you wish for? Or you could simply ask for the fairies to give you an oracle message about your wish. You don't need to put it in here. So I just want to give you that opportunity, especially early in the reading right now, because people will get here and it'll be busy for me and I may not get to everyone. But if you do have a specific wish, I wish to know about my career. I wish to know about my next partner. Whatever it is, the fairies are here for you. Okay, so Cain, I'm just going to draw. Cain has been here so many times and definitely is in the stream of what it is that we're wanting to know from the fairies. And so let's draw a card for you, Cain, and see what it is that the fairies have for you today. Wait for winter. Okay, so very interesting. I'm not sure what it is. Let me place my little lizard over here. Wait, maybe I'm going to put him up here. Okay, perfect. Thank you, little lizard. Isn't it wonderful how things can regenerate? So what it's saying here is that, where's my wand? Here it is. So during the winter, colder months, the fairy queen of winter will help you manifest your most heartfelt wishes, as long as your intentions are for the highest good of all. Can you believe that, Cain? not every card in the fairy oracle talks about wishes, not at all, but this one does. And so I think for you, you have learned so many spiritual or energetic lessons, haven't you, in the last few weeks? And I believe you are getting what I would call a new spiritual self concept. And Sophia, you're going to be next. I would be a magnificent. I'm going to read for you, and then Sophia. But back to Cain. Cain, you are doing so well laying aside the disappointments of your past. The lessons that you've been learning through the last maybe 8 weeks have really changed you. You have a different vibe. You are reaching forward for new life, and you're learning how to turn your back to what has been harmful in your past. So put your hand right on your heart, Cain. But place your hand right on your chest and agree with me as we agree with the fairies that your work is going to bear so much fruit. Is what you want happening today? Yes, even if you can't see, because think about when the lizard is regrowing its tail, it doesn't happen overnight, does it? It's a slow, gradual process. So the fairies are so clearly telling you to nurture and cultivate your wishes. Keep diving deeper into the relationship you have with your own inner being. The fairies will always direct you into your heart. Don't be afraid to want what you really want. Whatever this wish is that you're holding in your heart, there will be something happening when the weather turns cold that will satisfy you. And you may remember this reading and think, wow, it did happen in the winter, just like the fairies knew it would. Now, Cain, do you own this deck? If you own this deck, you might want to work with me creating content. You guys know that when I have someone who owns a deck and is willing to create little videos for me where you flip a card, I can do personal readings for you at no charge because you're helping me and I help you. So, Cain, if you own this deck, make sure that you email me. In fact, anyone who would like to have a chance to work with me in a project of collaborating on these messages, this is my email. So, one of my moderators, if you would, I think we have Tanisha here. If you would put my email address into the stream every now and then, that would be wonderful because sometimes you may want to tell me about your wish privately and not tell everyone in the whole world. And I am here for you if that's what you wish for. So, Cain, before we go, let's draw an Avalon Magic card for you. Okay? The fairies are so generous. They're like, we don't want to have one card readings, Catherine. We want to bless them with a little magic from Avalon. So, Cain, here is your bonus message. It's winter. See, that gives me goosebumps. Honest to goodness. This card flew right out of the deck and it gives me goosebumps. Hi, Mahek. Nice to see you today. Let's see what the message is. Reawaken your intuition, Cain. Allow your emotions to ebb and flow like the cycle of nature's seasons. Absolutely. This goes into your reading, Cain, because it's important. You can't hurry the seasons, right? You can't make winter appear today. You have to enjoy every day as it comes. So thank you so much, Cain. Thank you for being here. And now our next person is Magnificent Success. Then we have Sophia and then Mahek, okay? And so this is all about holding in your mind a wish that you want to believe for yourself. If you love fairies, hit the thumbs up because every Sunday I do fairy readings and we want to attract other beautiful beings who love the fairies, right? So hit the thumbs up. That helps YouTube direct more people towards us. So magnificent success. Here is your reading. Look at how it does. Oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps all over myself. Look at how it fits with my imaginary fairy garden. So it shows me, magnificent, that you are in the right place. You are in the right place. So take a breath. Say that to yourself, magnificent. I am in the right place. Okay? This is so powerful because when you accept that where you are is the right place, peace can come to you. The fairies that are feeling your deep desire to find your way. The fairies understand some of your anxiety and some of your nervousness, and they want to soothe you. But they do have an interesting message here about your health. Is there something you know you shouldn't be eating? Try to eat mindfully and healthily, although the fairies say that a little bit of what you fancy is fine. So I know personally for me, I just made a switch from drinking coffee to drinking green tea because I found out how healthy green tea is. And you know what? I'm really enjoying it and I'm not missing the coffee. So, those of you who are watching, not just for magnificent success, but all of us, how can we bring more natural eating into our experience? Eating close to nature. Remember that the fairies are the biggest ambassadors for nature. And they would want us to be eating foods that are very close to when they are grown. So being moderate, sometimes too much sugar can make you feel awful. Even though it tastes good going down, your energy is so impacted by that. Now, magnificent, see these 3 candles. Notice what color they are. Do any of you know what it signifies when you have purple? I'll tell you, the purple is the color of spirit. It's the color of the divine. So as you meditate and consider and ask the universe, what is my best food plan for my body? What will bring me the most positive energy and help me get a lot done every day? And your wish is going to be granted. See this little hole here, this little portal into the future? You can't see what's coming ahead, but you can honor yourself today by just making sure that what you're consuming is to your highest good. Don't you love that the fairies don't cut any slack? The fairies tell it like it is. So make sure that you email me if you have any questions about these readings. Also, I do have a private community on WhatsApp, and Magnificent Success is my newest member. So you know you can ask more questions in the community, Bina. Okay, let's see what the Avalon Magic has for you. Oh, it flipped right over. Okay, and we have, this is a very serious looking fairy, isn't she? She's very serious. So I have a feeling that part of what's going on for you, Bina, is that you're needing to lighten up a little bit. Okay, and I do feel that as you honor what it is that your body needs from you in rest, in food, and in water, you're going to just feel better and it'll be easier for you to stay in a good mood. Let's see what the message is. Spend time reclaiming your balance. This is perfect, isn't it? There's something out of balance in how you're treating your body, whether it's not enough sleep, the wrong kinds of foods, or not enough water. And as you reclaim your balance physically, you will find peace. Just a beautiful message and so much love for you, my dear, dear Bina. Okay, next is Sophia. I believe I'm going to do my very best to stay on target and do as many fairy wishes as I can. This is so beautiful. I just can't imagine any more perfect card that fit into our surroundings here. And if you're just joining me, I'm Catherine. This is Fish Out of Water Tarot, and we're celebrating our imagination with the fairies today, because the truth is that we can pretend anything that we want. And so as we pretend that we're in the fairy garden together today, it brings me great joy to draw these cards for wishes. So, Sophia, hold in your mind, what you're wishing for most? What is it that you desire to show up for you? And let's see what the fairies have to advise. Ah, beautiful, beautiful life energy. Okay, so this is the fairy of sunshine. Okay, Sophia, and the sun in the tarot is the happiest card in the deck. The sun brings life. In ancient times, when the sun would rise in the morning, it brought great joy because there was always a mystery in the dark. And so the happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that need to be healed. This is such a sweet and tender message because when I look around her, Sophia, she's in the harvest time. It's like the autumn where you can see all the gold and the leaves are changing color. And in my part of the world, I'm never sure where people are and what is your surroundings, because there's some parts of the world that don't have that autumn experience in the same way that I do here in Tennessee. But what I'm aware of are these sunflowers in the background. And do you know the magic of sunflowers, Sophia? The sunflowers actually turn their faces towards the sun as the sun rises and falls. That plant can turn itself toward the light. It's so magical when nature teaches the lessons so simply. So, Sophia, sometimes you get distracted, don't you? And your mind, your imagination visits the things in the past that just didn't work out for you. And this beautiful fairy of sunshine is here to remind you that happiness is a choice. You can choose always to find something to feel happy about. The quickest way is with gratitude. Y'all know that I don't think I would even be on the planet today without gratitude. I went through a serious illness once upon a time, and some people who were sick like me, they actually did not survive. My fairy magic, my fairy wand said, "You forgot me," and I said, "No, I didn't." But these fairies today are here to remind you that happiness is a choice. There's two ways to grab happiness. So grab a pencil, my dear Sophia. There's two ways. Are you ready? The first way is to clear out some clutter. If you have old, outdated food in your refrigerator or freezer, do a purge and throw away what's no longer good. If you have a room in your house that's all messy, go in there with a bag for trash and a box for giveaways and go through that room. I can't explain why it works, but I know that it does. When you open up your life by clearing clutter, light always comes in. And then the other way is with gratitudes. Even though things aren't working out well in one life area, even the fact that you're here with these loving people who trust in their imaginations and they want to be living their best life, when you hang out with the life energy that you have here, it's another way to advance yourself towards what you're really wanting. Don't be afraid to wish for what you really want. The universe is behind you. And now, as I'm looking at our background, can you see all of the petals on the ground here? Let's just study that for a minute, Sophia. Look at it, almost looks like snow. And that kind of reminds me of Cain's reading, where you are coming into a season where things are going to change. When we look at the flowers that crown our reading, and a lot of times that's where people sense the fairies, is around flowers. But even these gorgeous flowers need to shed petals. And so again, imagine if you took a broom and you were sweeping away the petals. That's part of the gentleness with healing that will help you. Sophia, I really think you would enjoy being in my community on WhatsApp. So do email me, would you? And I'm happy to tell you how you can join. There's no charge to belong to my private community. It just gives me a way to support you in a more personal way. Okay, so let's draw an Avalon Magic card. Isn't this great? Kane, do you own this deck yet? You might want to. It's so delicious. So the Avalon Magic, let's take a peek. What is it that our dear friend Sophia, what's our angel, or excuse me, oh, there we go. You guys heard it. It flipped itself. Okay. Ooh, look. See, look at how this fairy is giving you an example, Sophia, of keeping your eye on the light, right? Keeping your eye on the sun, just like that sunflower. Let's see what your message is. The light you are seeking is already within you. Follow those things that bring peace to your soul. Thank you, fairies. I don't even need to say anything, do I? That is an amazing confirmation. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, my name is Catherine, and I believe in wishes. I believe that as we turn our attention to what's working in our lives, that the universe meets us where we are. So next we have Mahek. Welcome, Mahek. I'm always glad to see you. And child of the high God, oh, welcome back, my darling. I so appreciated your energy on this stream the other day, and I'm very, very happy that you're here. So, Mahek, hold in your mind, what is it you're wishing for? Sometimes people, you'll hear people say this. They'll say, what are you manifesting for? What are you using the law of attraction for? What do you have that you're lacking and you want to have it come to your life? Create a wish out of that, Mahek, and I'm happy to draw the fairy card that will give you the hope and inspiration that you're looking for. Right? And child of the high God, I'm glad you're here. I will pull a card for you and about a wish that you want to have happen. Okay, so again, don't you just love, oh gosh, you guys, this is so cool. I just love my setting. Here we have another card. I'm just going to move it just a little. Look at how the card itself fits as if this is real. So I wish so much. I do. I mean, I wish with all my heart that I could reach through the camera and just come right into your space. No, I wouldn't get that close, I promise. But to help you understand that your imagination is the place of magic. And the view here, it looks as if this fairy is actually sitting in front of you in this gateway. And in a way, they are, because your imagination can heal you just as easily as you were hurt. Because it didn't take effort for the persons to hurt you, did it? It was often careless. But let's go to our beautiful Mahek. Mahek, this has the energy of the Page of Pentacles on it. So I'm wondering if you are wanting a new career, or you're wanting to have an improvement in your living situation. Okay, so let's look at the message and then I'll make a comment. This beautiful fairy, whatever your question is right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight that you seek. So this beautiful energy is about the joy of learning. Look at how she is laughing, right? So there's something the fairies want you to know, and that is that the reason your wish has not been fulfilled yet is that you are not fully ready for it. Now, you might disagree and say, no, 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 Catherine, you don't understand. I have been wishing for this for years. And I'm like, okay, I hear you saying that, but you need some educating. Now, what the very first book that pops into my mind is a book called, excuse me, I have to have a sip of tea. Hold on. Thank you so much. There's a book on gratitude that is really wonderful, and it's called Thank and Grow Rich. Okay, so write that down, all y'all. I mean, you'll love that book. It talks about how gratitude is the key. Gratitude opens all doors. Gratitude brings all wishes. And you think you're going to say, Catherine, it's not possible that every wish can come true. And you know what? I agree with you. But when you start to educate around gratitude, you might lose the appetite for something you're wishing for. Let me say that again. Once you understand the power of gratitude, and you'll read about that in Thank and Grow Rich by Pam Grout, once you adjust your gratitude appetite, you may find your wishes change. And something that you wished for 3 years ago, you look at and think, you know what? I don't care about that anymore. That's what may help you jumpstart into your true wishes. Now, it's August right now, almost September, and we have September, October, November, December, only 4 more months before the new year, right? Isn't that something? So you want to use this last 4 months, study about gratitude. Would you, Mahek? Would you make that pledge to yourself? Allow yourself to study gratitude. Now, there are tons of YouTube videos on gratitude, and there are meditations on gratitude. And of course, you know my readings are always filled with gratitude. So make a study of it. All right, perfect. Heck, let us go forward and get our Avalon Magic card for you. Ooh, nice. I like this card for you, my friend. Look at that. A journey ahead, right? That you're not where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. That's such a wonderful promise for us, isn't it? And your answer really is in your imagination. Let's see what the blessing is. Gently place your feet on the path you were meant to travel. So gently allow yourself to evaluate, do you really wish for the same things that you wished for 10 years ago, right? Allow yourself to self-adjust. Do the studying you need to do about gratitude, and you will be amazed at what happens in your life, okay? Oh, Kane, I love that your mom owns that deck. Listen, I would love to invite you to borrow your mom's deck and create some content for me. It would bless me to pieces to read for you the way I do on my little mini readings. So be sure to email me and I will let you know how that works, okay? Priyanka, I'm so glad to welcome you here. Thank you so much. And good morning, Rhoda from Mississippi. And Sophia, thank you for absorbing the message from the fairies, because the fairies really do want to help you. So next up, we have Child of the High God. Welcome for you to you today for joining my beautiful fairy garden. And remember, this is not real, right? But it's pretend. And the fairies get overjoyed when they attract people who like to pretend. Okay, so you guys are in the right place. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up, because the more people we gather together that believe in the magic of the fairies, the more everyone benefits. So, Child of the High God, what is the fairy message for you? What wish are you making today? Okay, let's see. And again, don't you just love how this deck fits right into the scenery? It is as if child, you are walking into a real fairy garden. And your ability to make this real is within your choices. You can just say out loud, I choose to enter the fairy garden and receive the message. And it changes us on the inside because it wakes up our inner child. Today, when I started the message in the introduction, which did get a little lengthy, 7 whole minutes, but I talked about how when we are children, it's so much easier to believe in fairies, in magic, and it's easier to believe that humans are loving, well, at least for the first 3 minutes of our birth. Unfortunately, we're often born into a family where there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of disappointment, and our parents are carrying the burden of not being children anymore. And they can forget what it's like to be a child, and they can forget that they don't want to turn off the magic in their own children. So the fairies of playfulness are here today to remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. And I would say that part of you that once believed in everything. Playing keeps you young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. So I love this message for you, my child of the high God. I mean, look at it, echoes your name. So I feel like the fairies are kind of busting you today, if I could say that. They're kind of calling you out because what they're seeing is that even though your name is child, that you're very hard on yourself, aren't you, child? That you want everything to be just right. And even when you're serving God and you're wanting to be the best example of trust in the divine, your perfectionism is jumping in and interrupting you. Okay, so playfulness. Where's the nearest park? How long has it been since you've swung on a swing? How long has it been since you skipped? Now, another thing that I'm doing right now, I didn't really understand why. I kind of was wanting to get involved in my little community because it's a new home for me. And I went to the senior center, which was, I think my fairies are rolling on the ground laughing, honestly. So imagine a fairy rolling on the ground, ha 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 ha, because I didn't want to identify myself as a senior because I'm 71, but I feel way younger than that. But there's so many free offerings. I mean, they do all of this stuff for free for the people in my community that are over 55. You can have free transportation to the center, and they have free line dancing lessons. Well, you guys, I should, you know what? Oh man, this would take so much courage on my part. I'm not sure I have this much courage, but if I do, I'm going to have someone take a video of me trying to line dance because it's hilarious. I just, it's not easy for me. My feet don't want to do what they're supposed to do, but it makes me laugh. It gets me dancing, and it's so much fun. So I know that my inner child comes out to play when I go to the dance lessons. Okay. Now, if I can't step the steps the right way, my mind will automatically start scolding its finger at me like, why are you doing this? Don't you see how silly you look? This is not fun. But my body that's trying to, that's just trying to collaborate with the other dancers. There's only like 8 of us. We're all kind of terrible, but we don't care because it's the joy of the play that brings us to life. So look around in your community. What can you do for fun? What will light you up? Once upon a time, when you were born, there was so much potential on your childlikeness. And then real life gets involved, and we sometimes forget. So, what's fun for you, my dear child of God? What is it that you can do today that reminds you of the fun you had when you were a little kid? So let's take a look at the Avalon Magic card, because you guys know I'm the one card wonder. I can read more out of one card than anybody else online. No brag, just fact. And so when the fairies kind of teased me this morning and said, we want to do 2 cards, I thought, okay, it's a fairy reading. I'll let them be in charge. Now, once again, let's look at our beautiful card from the fairies. And you know what, child of God? I think that you like being alone outside in nature, don't you? There's something very special. You may have had ceremonies when you were a little bitty kid where you picked the things off the ground from nature and created patterns with them. You might have had pretend tea parties when you were a little kid, but this is definitely a call to get your little rear end outside as much as possible. Here's your message. Honor the magic of the land. Be nature's friend and ally. Assist in recreating Mother Earth's original garden of pure wonder. Isn't that an amazing confirmation, child of the high God? One of the things that I do, and I need to do it today, or not today, but soon, is picking up litter. There's a spot on a road very near my house. I can walk there, and people just open their windows of their cars and they throw trash out. It's kind of hard to accept that, and my heart always feels broken a little bit because it hurts my heart that people are irresponsible like that. So, how I can fix it is go pick it up myself. And when I fill a trash bag up, I definitely feel a connection to the fairies. When I lived in Mexico, it was the same way, because people would leave trash on the beach. And I would always walk the beach, or I didn't always do it, but when I did carry a trash bag to the beach, I just felt a connection to the fairies. Anybody else sense that? Listen, if you're here for the first time and you love fairies, hit that thumbs up for us, would you? Because the bigger the vortex that we create with our beliefs, the more people come into our little family, we will see amazing things happen. Okay, so let's go on here and let's see who's next. Magnificent Success, you are so welcome. You know it's my privilege and my pleasure to read for you guys. Rhoda, good morning from Mississippi. Good morning, Rhoda. Rhoda, what is it that you're holding in your mind? What's your wish? If something happened in your life that really got your attention, something you've wished for a long time, the fairies are here today for you to make that wish. So let's grab a card. And abundance. All right, so here is a very interesting message. Let me just grab my wand. The fairies are here today to give you a message, my dear Rhoda, about being more general. Okay, are you guys familiar with Abraham Hicks? I love Abraham Hicks because they teach about getting your mind in the right place so that you are in what they call is the receptive zone. You need to be in a place ready to receive. For example, let's say that somebody sent you something in the mail, but you did not have a mailbox. Okay, so at your house, there's no mailbox. There's no way for people to deliver what you're wanting. Abraham Hicks is real good about teaching how to get into the receptive zone, a place where you're ready to receive. Unfortunately, many times in our life, we've had so many hurtful, disappointing experiences that receiving is difficult because we receive more pain than good. So when we look at wanting to manifest abundance, abundance opens the door to a big expanse of receiving. If we get too specific, like see how she's pointing with her finger there, and she's pointing to one of these tiny little specks, and she's saying, okay, this is what I want. I want that speck to happen in my life. Her magic wand is down here. See, the magic is pouring out over here. And look what's happening around her. Much abundance is happening, but if we're not careful, we can look at one tiny thing that's not working out. One tiny wish. So let's say you wish for a soulmate and you're like, until I get my soulmate, I will not be happy. And so you've got all your focus on that one tiny thing. And the fairies are saying, for Pete's sake, while you're so focused there, there's gazoodles of, of abundance all around you. Let's read the message. Prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks that you may have. In fairyland and human land, there is enough abundance for everyone. So I feel for you, my dear Rhoda, that there's something in your mind you've been wishing for very specifically. It might be a specific amount of money that you need. And I understand that there's a pressure to needing something badly. But the key is about gratitude for sure, because you'll always hear me talking about that. But also, when you walk in nature, start noticing and appreciating abundance. For example, I'm looking right now out at my rose bush. Now at this point, the roses that I could probably count 6 roses. Well, that's not very abundant. However, if I counted the petals on those roses, look at how the petals, the petals here, these roses are so full, even though they have shed some of their petals. When you walk past a field of grass, look at the grass and realize how many single blades of grass are out there. Next time you look at a tree, a single tree, and then look up and see how many branches are on that tree. The trunk of the tree is singular, but the branches are abundant. And then when you look at the leaves, they're even more abundant. You can't see them. Okay, so I know it's hard sometimes when you're focused on something, a wish that you dearly want. But as you get up noticing abundance around you, your energy softens. Your energy becomes more pliable and flexible. The universe has so much for you, my dear Rhoda. We don't want to limit the universe because we think that one of our wishes is more important than any other. Okay, so let me draw your blessing from the Avalon Magic deck. These have been so interesting and very confirming today. And so let's see, what is the blessing from the fairies in the Avalon Magic deck? Okay, here's our flip. And we look here, and you know what? When I'm aware of this fairy, I look at her, and on her throat are this necklace, but there's an opening in between. So I feel like this is that sign that there's a flow coming to you, that you are getting used to opening up your throat chakra. You're beginning to speak your truth, and it's not easy for you, Rhoda, for you to let yourself really let go of wishes that may not be for you today, but holding on to the hope that your inner being will draw you to exactly what it is you're wanting. Okay, let's see what your blessing is. Be enchanted with your life's potential. Seek and find, know and discover. So I don't know, Rhoda, if you were here when I was talking about using clutter as a key to finding abundance, because some of us have an abundance of stuff. We have an abundance of things we're not using anymore. And so this call for us, all of us, what closet can you turn upside down? What drawer can you empty? How many things can you throw away? How many things can you give away? And clear out the way, like clear out this pathway between your heart and your mind. And the easiest way is through getting rid of clutter. I know that sounds so simplistic, but and the fairies laugh out loud and roll around when I say this, because the fairies know the truth, and they know that we all have too much crap. And if we get rid of the stuff we don't need, we get magic. Okay, I'm moving along. Roxy, hi Roxy. Hi Veronica. Excellent. And illuminated Leo light. Wow, you are so, I think you're, I don't remember seeing you here before, Illuminated. Welcome. Yes, I'm just going to go right through the line and I'm just going to get as many readings as I can. Thank you so much for being here with me while we honor the fairy kingdom. So let's go on. And I'm using, let me just show you what deck I'm using because I know some of you have not been here since the beginning. Where is my, oh, here it is. This is our beautiful deck, Oracle of the Fairies. Aren't we grateful for Karen Kay and Ginger Kelly? So put a thumbs up in there for these beautiful artisans. Okay, Roxy, let's draw a fair. Now, so how to receive from the fairies today is to allow yourself to think about a wish that you have been holding. It might be a wish that you've had for a long time, but this is the Make-A-Wish energy, and we are definitely open to what the fairies have to show us. Thank you for joining me today. Those of you who are new, I'm Catherine, and I do have a special affinity for the fairy kingdom. Okay, so Roxy, let's look here. Aw, I love this little figure because there's a shyness here, okay? I'm sensing for you, Roxy, that your privacy is very important to you, that it's not easy for you to let people in. That through your own imagination has kind of been captured by the disappointments in your past. And you do understand that releasing your disappointments is going to help you, but you just don't know how. It's shy. There's like, well, who do I talk to? How do I get through this? You understand, I think you probably feel like you are stuck in a way and that you're not sure how to get yourself out of that situation. And the fairies are here to comfort you. The purple fairies and the purple colors in her hair, that's your spiritual chakra. That's the energy of your divine connection. And so the fairies are ever so gently bringing you a tender message today, Roxy. This fairy tells you to surrender to a transformation in your life that's happening for your highest good. Embrace your transformation. The best is yet to come. So, you know what? I want to thank you, Roxy, because you're like an ambassador. You are sitting in your home right now, carrying a beautiful energy of all the people hearing my voice right now who are shy about change. It's not easy to let something go. It's not easy to move on when you are really kind of fearful or not sure of the future. And the fairies want you to know that's all natural. It's normal. There are so many angelic influences surrounding you right now, Roxy. There are invisible supporters. Chances are there's some people from the other side who have transitioned. You may even have someone who's passed through those golden gates relatively recently, Roxy. And you may be making a decision in their honor. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to lay that habit down. I'm going to change myself. But you know what? You have help. The divine wants for you something more than you want for yourself. The divine's plan for your life, Roxy, and anyone else that's resonating with going through a change. The only way through is through energy or through spirit. Her garment is purple. The helpers are purple. Butterflies are signs of transformation. You are not alone. Okay? Put your hand on your heart, Roxy, and everyone else too, please. And say it out loud. I am not alone. I am under God's covering. Even though I feel alone, I am under spiritual direction. Behind her is the sunny meadow. Once she makes her change, she will turn around, and great abundant living is behind her. The light is there. But when your focus is still on the frustration of not feeling the change, that's when you can really lose hope. So What I would recommend is to grab that book, Think and Grow Rich by Pam Grout. And when she's talking about growing rich, sure, all of us would like to have a little more spending money, but true richness is 100% acceptance of your own being, not only your positive traits, but also your bad habits and the choices that you've made that you're not proud of. This is all part of the wonderful transformation that's going on for you. Remember, if you have questions or you want to go deeper, please email me, tarotinfoplease@gmail.com. I am creating an online community. It's in WhatsApp, and I'm wanting to connect with people who connect with the energy that you hear here at Fish Out of Water and Friends, because we are in this together. Yes, I'm the one drawing the cards, but you guys are bringing your loving energy here. That's what makes the magic work. So, my dear Roxy, Veronica, you're next. Roxy, here is your Avalon Magic message. And I love this. This is surrender. These cards blow me away. Every reading, I am blown away by magic, because you can hear, I know you can't see me flipping these cards, but you can hear when they flip out. And look at this. This figure is releasing her cup. Whatever it is that she thought she wanted, she's willing to release it to receive even more. It's completely connected to this card for you, Roxy. And here's your blessing. Welcome the solitude. It is time to replenish your weary soul. I know for a fact, Roxy, that you are not the only person who's going through right now. And so those of you who feel shy about the transition that's coming, please allow your inner being to speak to you. There's a little short that I posted today, and it's my shadow on the ground, and I talked about the message that I'm getting about my inner strength from shadows. And so I invite you to take a look at it, because it connects us. And also, we do not want to fear the dark. We don't want to fear the parts of our personality that hold us back. We want to love that part and bring it into healing. Okay, so Veronica, you are next, and then Illuminated Leo. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I never know how many readings I can get in our time together, but I do the best I can to meet everyone's needs that are here. Don't be surprised if someone else's card resonates with you completely. That's part of the magic of using our imagination to come together in my fairy garden today. I just want to take away the deck for a second so you can see the fairy garden better, and it makes you feel at home. Now remember, this is a pretend fairy garden, and the angels and fairies are always encouraging us to remember that we have an imagination. It's God-given, and it's the place where we start. Everything that you are manifesting starts first on the inside and becomes alive, and then it appears on the outside. So let's take a look. Nature's signs. Okay. All right, let's see here. My dear Veronica. So Veronica, what I'm seeing here is this blue. Notice all of the blue. So what's happening is that the fairies are wanting you to understand that you need to develop the confidence to speak your truth firmly, gently, and consistently. When you're alone, you do feel more comfortable, I bet, huh, Veronica? And many people who come to my readings are what I call natural introverts. It's hard for them. They feel more comfortable by themselves or with their pets. And so, but the blue that is in this card is a very important message. Also, can you see that little blue piece of sodalite on my fairy's crown? So there's something about you achieving what it is that you're wanting that has to do with how you speak about it. So let's read your message. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually. We need only to open our hearts and minds. So as you spend time in nature, my dear Veronica, ask yourself, why is it so easy for me to connect with other people? Now, there's a man that wrote a book. His name is Noah. I can't remember his last name right now. I want to say Noah St. John. And he wrote a book called Ask Formations. And you don't need to read the book because the magic is in like just one sentence, and that is this: when we ask ourselves questions like, why does that keep happening to me? Why does nothing work out? Why don't people treat me right? Why can't I find my soulmate? That our brain goes to work making those thoughts duplicate themselves. And so he was in the shower one time and he decided to ask questions in a kind of crazy way. So he would take his solution and he would create a question out of it. So if he was very lonely, instead of saying, why am I so lonely? He would say, why is it so easy for me to connect with people who like me? And what he found was when he used those backwards questions, everything changed. So if you're feeling like you're more comfortable by yourself, you can start creating ask formations that will bring you out. Why is it getting easier and easier for me to speak up for myself? Why is it getting easier and easier for me to learn my lessons in nature? Why is it getting easier and easier for me to get what I'm truly wanting? Those kinds of affirmations can throw your life upside down. Okay, so there is your fairy message today, my friend Veronica. And then let's see what is the blessing. Oops, here we go. The blessing from our Avalon Magic. Here we go. And here we have, we have a person that's isolated, a fairy who's definitely isolated, but look what color her flower is. Can you see that? It's the same color as the wand, okay? It's the same color as that blue gem, that piece of sodalite right next to her left ear. So I feel like for you, Veronica, you might even feel like a whistling or a humming or a buzzing in your left ear. Whenever that happens, know that the fairies are trying to get your attention. All right? So let's see what your blessing is. Let go of who you think you should be and embrace who you are. Once again, the cards blow me away. This is an exact confirmation for you. Now, you guys, I am going to put timestamps here, and so you can go back and review your own reading. And I highly recommend it because once you sleep on it, once you think about it and think, oh my gosh, what that fairy said in the reading was very correct. Okay. And the last little message for you, Veronica, when I'm noticing these two animals, these I believe are badgers. And badgers are animals that you don't want to run into on a dark night. They're known to be a little bit vicious. They're known to be a little bit of a threat. And so I feel like in your past, there have been people that have been cruel, not necessarily to you, maybe cruel to each other. And so part of what God is calling you to is to forgive and release the people in your past who have inadvertently, they did not mean to cause you pain. It just happened. Okay. So that just little message popped into my head, and I hope that it is resonant with what you're needing. Okay, my friend? All right, so now we have Illuminated Leo. Hey, Illuminated Leo, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you are here. We're doing our Make-A-Wish readings today, and the fairies are all about wanting you to create an attitude and an atmosphere of wishes granted. There's nothing that makes them more happy than when people are rejoicing and celebrating fairy magic. And I appreciate, I'm only going to draw in other fairy fans. So if you are that, you love fairies, make sure you hit that thumbs up. I want you guys to be notified every time I go live with the fairies. So definitely you would like more fairy readings. I will do more because I believe the fairies have the key for many of us Not everyone, but those of us who really understand it, we love our fairies, don't we? So, Illuminated Leo, let's see what is here for you. Okay, let me take a look. All right, so the first thing that I'm aware of here, this is so clever. Oh my gosh. Are you a reader by chance, my dear friend, Leo? If you're a reader, please do email me because I am creating a collaboration with other readers and I would love to hear from you. Anybody who's watching this right now. If you read cards or you own cards, please email me. I have some exciting projects coming ahead and I love collaborating. That's why I call my channel Fish Out of Water and Friends. But look at the little cards, Lane. I love when the artists on these cards are so detailed because look at those little cards. I think it's the fairy deck. I think that this fairy is reading from the oracle deck because they look like the art. And so who's the lady, Ginger Kelly, let's all throw hearts into the stream for Ginger. Hit that heart button. Everybody hit it. Hit, because this is so clever. I have a feeling, my dear Leo, that there's a little bit of shyness, that you're really preparing yourself. And I know this is true of a couple other people that I know that are in my community, where you're on this path. Can you see the path coming? That you're on a path towards accepting your spiritual gifts. You are doubtful. You might have a religious background like I did, where I was raised Catholic, and then I spent over 20 years as a Bible study teacher and more of a born again Christian energy. And now I'm carrying even a bigger view of what is spirit. And I think that the Tao, when they talk about it and they say, the minute that you define the divine, you're wrong because we can't put words on what the divine is. I have over 2,000 videos online right now. If you would have told me 5 years ago, as I was approaching the later years of my life, that in 2024 I would be a busy tarot reader, I would have said you're crazy because I had no desire to do anything like this, but that's because I didn't know how much fun it is. But now that I'm trusting, can you see this river of water back there? When I'm doing these readings, believe me, it's not Catherine. There's something comes through me when I see the pictures, the stories pop right to my mind. And I've had to believe even through my doubt. So I think, Leo, that you are becoming illuminated. You are training yourself, but you're also kind of an underachiever. You can do more than you think you can. Let's read your message. Embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity. So there's been a call, hasn't there, Leo? You have been kind of stalling because you feel most comfortable when you're surrounded by your candles and your crystals and creating a light in your life that works for you. But there's a whole world who needs you. So whatever's holding you back from carrying your light out into the world, that's what the fairies are all about today. When you look at this beautiful archway, can you see it? You will always be in the protection of the divine. Those of us who are put here at this time to shine the light on the truth of love, the truth of self fulfillment, the truth of resilience, the truth of going forward even though it's hard. The world needs us. The world needs to know how we can shed, see all of these old things of the past. These petals used to be attached to these flowers, and they come to an end. They fall off. And you and I, Leo, and other people who are readers and guides, we facilitate shaking off what does no longer work for us. So be sure to embrace those inner powers. Do email me if you resonate with this message because I love to support people who are not sure what their spiritual gifts are. I've been doing that most of my life. Every single arena. I even taught golf for 10 years. No kidding, you guys. And when I was teaching golf, did the fairies help me? Amen. God was always part of my golf teaching because I didn't play golf as a professional. I'm just a really good teacher, and I had really good lessons from somebody. And one of my friends said, would you read me a would you read me a card? Would you help my golf? And I said yes. Well, all of a sudden, guess what happened? She told her friends, and I became a golf teacher for 10 years. So now, same thing with me and the cards. Years ago now, probably 25, 30 years ago, somebody said, would you pull a card for me? And I did, and it was natural. So Leo, this is your energy. I just want to share. Oh my goodness, Leo. Oh, if take a screenshot of this picture, Leo, would you? But I'm seeing a face here in the flame, and I've never seen that before. But there is someone who's coming into your life in the fire. It could be me, or it could be someone else, but in the fire, there is a fairy there. So you are finding a mentor who's going to guide you. Wow, now that I see that face, I see it so clearly. Okay, whoop, here's your beautiful card. Okay, perfect card for you, Leo. The rabbit. The rabbit is about abundance. It's about generating power. It's about generating wealth. It's about generating love. It's just this fertile energy. Rabbit may be a spirit guide of yours, but I would definitely Google, use your favorite search engine, and look at the spiritual significance of rabbit, would you? And let's see what your blessing is. Reconnect to Mother Nature's world of plenty, and you shall receive a myriad of miracles. Excellent. Now, so what we're finding here is that this connection time that you're taking to really discover your spiritual gifts, you will always need to go back there, like the gas station, right? You go back for refueling into nature. Thank you so much for being here, my friend, my new friend. So if you're new here, I'm Catherine. We are doing wishes from the fairies today, and I am glad you're here. If you love the fairies, hit that thumbs up. If these messages resonate with you, don't be surprised because yes, because the fact is that you do have a wish probably since when you were younger, and the fact that it hasn't seemed to come true is causing you some pain, and I totally understand that, okay? So we have Winnie. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Mahek, child of God. Thank you, Rikesh. So glad to see you here, child of God. I'm so glad that that was resonant. Michael, we reap what we sow. Isn't that so true? It's absolutely true that we do reap what we sow. And oh, I'm just reading this from Child of the High God. I love it. I rode a roller coaster this summer for the first time. It was scary, but it was awesome and fun, and it was worth it. It made me feel different in the afterwards. This is so true. The fairies are giving you a standing ovation because they're all about having fun. They're all about reconnecting to the parts of ourselves that we're not really in touch with, okay? So, hey, motivation, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, Craig. I love that you're here from New Zealand. Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? So, absolutely, motivation. We will grab you a fairy reading for sure. What do the fairies have to say about what you're wishing for? In the manifesting world, sometimes people will say, what are you manifesting for, right? What do you want to attract next in your life? What is your wish? Let's see what your message is. Now, right now, I have 21 people here and 21 thumbs up. The number 21 is very important for somebody here. 21. So do take a minute, look up the angel meaning of the number 21. It's going to give you a bonus. And I would do that if I were you, motivation. Okay, I'm going to go through and add our timestamps. At the end, it'll take me a minute, but you can come back and easily review your reading. Okay, so we have motivation. motivation, what do we have for you? Let me grab my fairy pointer. Don't you love her? Isn't she gorgeous? There was a crystal fair in San Diego, and I could not resist. Piece of kyanite in the back. We have aqua aura crystals, and each crystal means something. Thank you, fairies, for bringing this to my life. So, motivation. Well, I love your name is motivation, and when I look at this, I see charisma. That you have charisma. That you motivate people. You've always motivated people. You're a soul sister of mine because I once took a quiz. You know how they have those personality quizzes? I took a quiz and it called me the cheerleaders of life. And I had to laugh and I thought, oh yeah, that's totally me. And I annoy people. I do. I've been told that by family members because I'm overly cheerful and I don't like complaining, and I prefer to talk about what's working, what's positive. I've always been that way. And some of the people in my world don't appreciate that. So I look at this particular fairy here kind of looking down, and they're kind of in the dark. But you look at these other fairies, they're so content watering the garden. Imagine that they're here in my pretend fairy garden tending to the plants. But there's always what I call the sad, sorrowful humans who come up to a bright human and they want to be supported. They want to be helped, but all they do is talk about their problem. I don't know why that is, but some people will just want 20 to 30 minutes of your time, and they'll tell you everything that's not working. My boyfriend won't come back. I can't lose this weight. I'm having a surgery next week. My mom is angry with me. I don't like my apartment. They just want that. They want someone to listen to their troubles. And you, motivation, look at what are you holding? What is this fairy holding in their hand? They're holding a purple globe. Purple is the color of our spirit. Purple is the color of the divine, our divine chakra that is above our heads, that part of us that wants us connected to the divine. Now, this would be somebody in your life, motivation, who gets it. They get it. They like your energy and they'll come over and be with you, but then they go back to their life. They're learning how to love themselves and they're depending on spirit. Then you have I wanted to say clients, I don't know what you do, but there's other people that come to your life and they're learning. They're willing to learn. They're at your feet. They're copying what you do because they admire you, but they're not dumping on you. So in your life, when you're gathering the humans around you, don't be afraid to have those very strong boundaries. You don't need to be a dumping ground. You don't need to listen to the pain. One of the secrets that I learned early on was when the person takes a breath, then that's when you speak. So you might say, well, I know that really must be hard for you, but what's going well in your life? Tell me your favorite food. Tell me your favorite animal. They may look at you like you're crazy, but there's method to your madness, because as a light worker, as someone who does motivate people, we want to have their own gardens be as fruitful as your garden, okay? And then these bees, can you see the bees? The bees are the symbol of the bee is community. So community is very important. Now, may I read your message? Fairies like to be busy, and a group of them is showing you that many hands make light work. Working as a team helps you get the job done. So motivation, it's really not even likely that you'll continue to have your glow if you don't get help. So being part of a community will help you grow spiritually. Do you wonder where you can be part of a community? You can be in my community. I have a WhatsApp community, it's free of charge, where I am engaging with the fans that are coming through YouTube. I can't really touch y'all through YouTube. I can't, the comments come and go so quickly. Look at my candle just blew out here. I can't, I'm frustrated sometimes because of not being able to speak to you guys and to teach what I know works. But with the WhatsApp, it's a way for serious fairy lovers to come in where we can commune together and support one another. So let's draw a card for you from the Avalon Magic deck. Again, if you haven't purchased this deck for yourself, it's very inexpensive and it's just so fun to have your own fairy deck. Okay, so come together. What is our message for our dear friend Motivation? I love your name because we all need motivators. You guys motivate me. I mean, I'm here, when I do my readings, I'm here because I love coming together with you. And the miracle of YouTube and the internet just astounds me. Okay, so we look at our fairy here and notice the red cape. So I think for you, Motivation, some of the doubts that you have about being a guide for other people has to do with your family of origin. There are some belief systems that you don't need anymore. There's some things that you used to believe that you don't believe anymore. And it's time to shed those old beliefs. So let's see what your message is. You are in alignment with your soul's longings. Make a move now. Yes, so I feel that there are humans in your life who are too much for you. They may need counseling. They may need some sort of physical healing. Reiki might help. But don't doubt yourself. If you feel a person who's coming to you, it's over your skill level. I mean, I have had to tell people, I have refused to read cards for some people. No kidding. They come to me and they say, will you read my cards? And I get a sense that they need more than I can give. I know where my gifts are, and I also know where my limitations are. So don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. If someone is not a good fit for you, take action and speak your truth firmly and with love. Okay. And so my next person is Craig. Hello, Craig and Deanna and Sophia. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I'm going to quickly try to do as many as I can. I've already been here a long time this morning. And so if you do not get your reading, I'm going to be putting the timestamps and you can come back and review and simply pick any of the cards that appeal to you for your wish. Okay. The fairies are very excited to be on the team of spiritual beings that are helping you achieve your greatest wishes. So we have Craig, welcome from New Zealand. I'm so glad you're here. Let's see what your message is. Wow. What is it you're wishing for, Craig? It seems to me that, oh, I got goosebumps, right? This is such a cool reading. So, Craig, you've been really wanting to have a close relationship with someone. I feel that it's a secret wish, like part of you is afraid to speak it out loud, that there's just a desire and that is very, very deep in your being. So let's take a breath. I do feel also that there's just doubt. It's like, how could this ever happen? What do I need? If you're already in connection with someone as a partner, I feel that there's this gap in between that needs some sort of restoration. And if you're single looking for something, I feel that your deepest wish is out of reach because of something in between. There may be experiences that you went through where somebody has disappointed you, where love has not looked like how it was supposed to look. And thank you, Craig, for being like an ambassador right now and holding the energy of this disappointment for all of us. We have all been broken in love. And it does make it difficult to create a true wish. Let me explain. I once met a person who told me their wish. Their wish was that they could find a partner that would never make them sad. And I was shocked that they asked that because I thought there's sadness that's part of life. When the adults in your life, when you're a kid, if they don't have a great connection, we are brought up with a false premise about love. And it looks like love is more pain than it's worth, and that's never true. When I look at the vest, Craig, on this fairy, it looks like it. I'm going to read it as, that thing that an armored vest. You know how like service members or police officers can wear a vest that bullets can't go through. Bulletproof vest. That's what it is. Bulletproof. And I feel like in your past, you have actually done that, that you had a bulletproof vest over your heart. It's like nobody's going to be able to get in and hurt you. But when I see this, it's open. So I believe the fairies are here just to congratulate you on the work you're doing to open yourself back up to love. Look at this beautiful veil here. It's on the male side of this picture. And I think that the healing that's dropping into you and your trust of spirit is changing everything. All right? So let's read this card, Celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. That's the inner. Oh, I got goosebumps over my shoulders again. So, Craig, thank you for standing as an ambassador for people who are wanting their wishes granted when it comes to love. I feel like you are going to be very inspiring to the people in your world who have watched you walk forward out of certain situations and trusting your heart with love again. I do believe that you can expect an invitation, and that invitation is going to be putting you into contact with people who will change your life. Okay, very cool message, Craig. Thank you for being here. Let me just draw an Avalon Magic card for you. Okay, what is Craig's? Oh, there we are. Ooh, love this one. So what strikes me immediately is the white cup. That's an offering, right? This is a complete confirmation. Someone's coming forward with an offering for you. There's a butterfly just landed on the bush outside my window. I feel like there's the unexpected. See the bird flying in? And so just be ready and hold your heart in a position of willingness. A cool affirmation is to say, I'm willing to be willing. I'm willing to be open to love again. The fairies love that one. They don't want you to force yourself, but if you choose to be willing to allow love in, it's a powerful call. So let's take a peek here. Let go of outcomes. You will be released from the burden you carry. Oh, my dear Craig, I'm so grateful that you were here today. The cards just do all the work, is what I say every single time I do a reading. The cards are working for us. What are the odds that these two cards came out together? All right, so I just go forth and prosper, my friend. Trust what you're learning about true love. Allow your relationships with friends and strangers, allow those unusual short-term loving relationships to show you what's possible. And as you turn away from the disappointments in the past, the fairies are here to support your future love, okay? Hi, Deanna. Hi, Sophia. Yes, so Sophia, and oh, purple's your favorite color, Roxy. That's so, isn't that neat? Purple is the color of our sacred chakra at the top of the chakra system. It is you can't go wrong being aligned with the highest version of yourself. A lot of times, that's all the fairies are encouraging, that we let ourselves be seen as our best and not as our worst. So, Sophia, And Nettie, let's go for you here. While we have just, my phone still has some juice on it, so I'm just going to keep going forward. So, Sophia, what is your wish? What is it that you want from the divine? And how can the fairies support you today? Okay. This is another one of these cards that just fits right into the setting, doesn't it? Look at how the colors, it's like this all was meant to be. When you use your imagination, something really magical happens. It's the part of our brain, it's the part of our mind that brings us the hope and healing. So, can you see our lizard? Those of you who've been with me before, you know that I love the lizard because what happens is, first of all, it matches the colors of my wand, but that's beside the point. But the lizard is an animal that can lose its tail, like a predator can catch it, and it can pull its tail off. But the lizard runs away into quietude, and a new tail grows. The message of that for humans is we don't have a tail, but we sure have a heart, don't we? And when we have a breakup in the past, when something has broken our heart, it's as if something gets torn away. And the reality is, the reason the lizard is so important is because it signifies regeneration. Look at the light that's flowing in from the promise of regeneration. So for you, my dear, where are Sophia, allow yourself to ask, what is it that is regenerating when it comes to my wish? Is there something in your wish that needs to be regenerated? Sometimes, if your wish has not come true and you've been holding it for a very long time, your wish needs to be edited. Okay, it's something that you wanted many years ago, you may not want anymore. So let's look at what is the message. Something hidden is about to come to light. Perhaps a secret or memory at the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we can become free. Yes, I feel like this is a quote. There's a movie called Stutz. It's on Netflix, and I really like it because he's a therapist that really is no bullshit with Stutz. He tells it like it is. But what he says is deep inside of every person, deep inside is the river of yes. The deeper you go into meditation or into self reflection, the closer you can get to this river of yes. Now, this fairy, she's knee deep. She's knee deep in the river of yes. And yet there's a part of her that does not feel like celebrating. The yes that her guidance is giving her means that she has to reevaluate her wishes. She doesn't want to reevaluate them because once upon a time someone told her, anything you wish for you can get. Anything you want to manifest, you can have that. And that teaching confused this being. But she said, I'm not getting what I want. So how is that possible? It's because as you allow yourself, now look at, she has purple flowers around her head. Energy, spirit, divine, guides, angels, your ancestors, all of your spiritual team that you cannot see is cheering you on to accept regeneration. Allow the old wishes to fall off like a tail. Shed them. See how these blossoms here? They have been shedding petals, haven't they? They're shedding things that they don't know. It's part of nature. If you do not shed what no longer serves you, you don't feel the yes of now. Let me say that again. If you do not shed the parts of you that you no longer need, you'll block yourself from hearing your inner yes. There is a wish that's coming to light, and it probably will surprise you. When the new wish comes, you're going to say something like, whoa, I never thought that would happen. And that's your sign that you're being successful. You're allowing that new tail to grow. And now, do you know, you guys, that one of the ways you spell tail is Tail? That's the tail that grows at the end of the lizard. But there's another spelling of the word tail, and it's Tale, right? You can always change your tale or your story about what's going on, and learning how to tell yourself a different story about what is your highest and best version of yourself, it's going to change everything. Because if you change how you talk, you'll change how you walk. I always say, what you talk about, you walk about. What you think about, you bring about. If you are frustrated and you haven't had your wish be granted, give yourself a break. Notice her purple flower, the purple wreath on the head. Turn around and face the disappointment of the past. Now, in the description box, there's something called the soulmate generator, and there's also something called the complaint cure. These are two techniques free of charge. They work. Take advantage of the free material that's there and do some work on finding out what is it that you're clinging to that you just don't need anymore. Okay? Cool reading. And you know what, Sophia? You are not the only person. Trust me, you are not the only person who struggles in this area. So, what is our Avalon Magic message? What's our special blessing for our dear Sophia? Okay, what is our message? Okay, there we have it. Oh gosh, see, look at that. Oh, once again, the cards score. If you're enjoying this reading, hit the thumbs up, you guys. Give the fairies credit. Give the fairies applause. Hit the heart. Hit the 100. Make the fairies see that you are here supporting Sophia and all of us. Because look, Sleeping Beauty, right? It's the exact same energy. And it's also a similar hair, with that auburn, reddish brown hair. Also, look at that. We have the family of origin signified, and she's holding a scroll tight in her hand. Her old story is not serving her anymore. She needs to wake up, realize that everything she's wanting is behind her. And it's the same thing I'm seeing here, Sophia, that your guidance is behind you. Everything you're wanting is in clearing away some wishes that you made a long time ago that have not come true. Believe me, it was a blessing that some of your old wishes did not come true. I know that's hard because it feels like it's stormy, but it's not. True love has ups and downs. There is no perfect, but getting rid of wishes that you don't need anymore is important. Now, Sophia, I don't know if you were here earlier. So people say to me, well, Catherine, what do I do? I mean, how do I make this happen? The quickest way, clean out a closet. Find some place in your house where there's a collection of things you're not using anymore. Take a trash bag and a giveaway box and make hay in that room. I guarantee you, you will wake up energy that you did not know you had. So let's read your blessing. It is in the silent pause that we find our answers, the answers to our questions. It is in the breath that we anchor the soul. Okay, so right now you are making strong your resistance to getting your wish fulfilled. Your focus is on what's not working out. So as you turn, as you allow the silence to draw you into clarity, and make sure that any wishes that you used to want, you're willing to say, you know what? I'm not so sure. I think I need something fresh. All right. I trust me on this. The first step of cleaning out clutter will make the fairies stand up and take notice. All right. So Nettie, And Mark from Chicago, thank you so much. I love your videos. Keep up the good work. Well, Mark from Chicago, I'm from South Bend, Indiana. How do you like that? Neighbor. I went to school in Milwaukee and I had to drive through Chicago a tons of times. In fact, I got so brave that I didn't take the 294 around anymore. I just took that 94 right through downtown and I felt so proud of myself. I know your city well. So let's see, let me do Nettie and then Mark. Okay. Oh, here. And then I'm going to have to close. I always think I'm going to make these like an hour and then I get on and I can't quit because it's just too much fun. So let me grab some tea. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing your love and your light. I appreciate it. I can't really talk about fairies with everybody. I mean, my own son probably would be mom, but the fact is that you guys step in as my spiritual family and we share our love of the fairies. So cool. So, Nettie, what is it? The message about your wish? Do you need to make a new wish today? Can I support you in your wish? And I will tell you that with the law of attraction, which many people are attracted to me because I do use that, people will say I'm manifesting for something. And that really is the same as I'm praying for something. It's also the same as I wish for something. It's something that we think is missing in our life, and we think our life will be better if we have it. So let's take a look for Nettie. Well, Nettie, oh my, look at this. This reminds me of like the steampunk. I have a new person in my group. Careful with that axe, and she is fabulous. Love her energy. Her favorite deck is the steampunk deck. So this reminds me of that energy, making use of parts of things, celebrating the darker parts of life, celebrating shadows. Okay, and again, I really like how this fits into our scenery. We've got the archway here, and it's repeated twice. So for you, Nettie, I feel like you may enjoy, or you may even own, a little shop of some kind. You're like, you enjoy gizmos and gadgets. You enjoy things that are unusual. And I love when I look at this throat, on the throat, I see green and blue. And so that's showing me that you are very considerate with how you speak, that you speak in a way that is truthful but filled with love. And I have a sense, Nettie, that people come to you because they see this wonderful energy that you present. You have a special charisma, Nettie, and that it's important that you don't ignore it. You do bring light, and people feel lucky when they meet you. You may not even understand it, but when they walk away from you, they have a shine. It's like your charisma is contagious. Okay, love that. And also, if you're a card reader, I would look into that steampunk deck. There may be something in there for you. Now, the message here, I think, is that it's important to get outside, that you may enjoy being kind of a hermit and being closed to yourself. You may look at your outfit in the mirror, and that you are the one that's seeing yourself more often than the world is seeing you. I'm aware of this little telescope that's laying there, and I feel like a part of your being looks out into the world through that telescope, but it is not connecting you as deeply as it could. I feel the fairies may feel you're just a bit of an underachiever and hiding out a little bit. I even look at the faces and they look similar. It's like my wand could be a sister to this fairy. So let's read the message. The fairy of time wants you to experience every moment fully and to make the most of your precious time. Be mindful not to waste other people's time either. So, because of this charisma that you have and this constant busy, 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 I think the fairies are calling you to use some of your time in nature, to really separate yourself from humanity. If you fill your life with so many humans, you can feel exhausted and drained. So the light that's coming through these windows, it's similar to our arc here And remember that this garden, let me just pull up the card so you guys can see my setting, that this idea of having a place in nature where you can just observe the things that are growing, the things that are shedding, and the quietness of sound with nature can be very fulfilling for someone who has the kind of personality that likes to chit chat, you know, and also a little bit of a warning about gossip. Gossip can be very difficult because you never know who's going to say what to who. Isn't that the truth, Nettie? And so, see this owl back here? A reminder for inner wisdom. If the person is not in the room, can you develop the discipline not to talk about them? Can you only say things about humans that you would say if you knew they were overhearing you? It's a really good piece of advice generally for humanity, and for some reason it came out for you, Miss Nettie. Okay, so let's see. What is our Avalon magic message for my girl Nettie? You guys who would like to come into contact with me and do get to know me a little bit better, be part of my community, I do have a WhatsApp group, and I'd love to tell you all about it. So you can shoot me an email, Nettie, if you would like to join my group for some support. And now look what we have. It's a repetition of that owl. Okay, so we always pay attention to the things that repeat. So let's take a look here. There's no humans in the picture, right? And there's no visible fairies. We do have this elk that is coming out from the woods. So you might want to look up the spiritual meaning of elk. I think that you will get a further message, Nettie. But this idea of finding something in nature that's a worshipful spot, a spot in nature where you can sit alone, and I'm seeing it here duplicated out there behind you, and you can see that there's almost an archway formed with the trees that is a match to this archway. I also see this looks like a heart. Can you see how the green in the background looks like the top of a heart? So I feel like nature is waiting for you, Nettie. Nature is waiting for you to show itself in its magic. Let's see what our message is. Never be afraid to voice your truth, as truth comes from a deep place within your soul. It's important when you have a personality like yours, Nettie, that you do take this time alone, away from your stuff and away from humans, because you will hear your own voice. You'll hear it, and once you hear your deep intuition, you will feel more supported. It's not easy to be an unusual person. I am an unusual person. I call myself neurodiverse, or the symptom of being different is that I can have social awkwardness. And so it's easy for me to do these readings. I'm invisible to you. You hear my voice. It's easy for me to do this because I've learned, I'm 71. So I've just learned over the last 25 to 30 years how to really maximize why I'm here on the planet. Now, I do notice, Nettie, that I have 24 people watching and we have 24 thumbs up. So go Google the meaning, the spiritual meaning of the number 24, because I believe there's an added bonus message for you there. Okay, my friend? All right, moving forward here, Mark from Chicago, thank you so much for your kind comment, cheerleading me from the Midwest. I love that. I'm in Tennessee now, but I spent the last 4 years, before I moved to Tennessee, I was living in Mexico. And talk about Baja, Mexico, just 45 minutes south of San Diego, but a very poor community where people have so little, but they live with a tremendous appreciation for what God brings without a lot of trying. When you live in a impoverished situation, you see the fairies and the divine at work so concretely. So, my friend Mark, what is it you're wishing for? What is your big wish today? Let's see what your message is. Oh, look. Aw, this little child fairy. Okay, let's take a deep breath. And let's see here. There's such tenderness, Mark. When I see this beautiful card, it makes me feel a sense of vulnerability. And you may be like me, you may be shy and not sure of how people perceive you. And that can be difficult if you grow up in a situation where the adults are a little chaotic. It can be hard to figure out, where I'm coming from, why I'm here. But Mark, I don't think there's any accidents that you found my channel. What I'm seeing, first of all, is look at how her wreath of flowers matches our background. The key to change is to allow your imagination to be healed. If your imagination houses the painful experiences from your past, it's real. It's as if the experiences keep happening. I personally use something called tapping. I've used it for years now, almost 30 years, not quite, almost 30 years of understanding how to use tapping to relieve my stress. There's a wonderful man named Brad Yates, Tapping with Brad, and I always post on my community here in YouTube. I post the resources that help me find that inner child within me and allow her to be active, to allow her to let down her guard and to believe that there's a way to find peace, joy, and harmony in the midst of a mess. Notice the dark. There's no promise that we're not going to have challenging experiences. No, not at all. But the promise of this card is that deep inside of you, Mark, is this little child. And that child is clinging to what it knows to feel safe. Ironically, it's opening up to this energy that brings the peace and the freedom and the ease that we all so deeply desire. Look at all the magical sparkles all around this little fairy's head. The angels and fairies are bringing healing to you. As we step into Virgo season and as the fall approaches, Mark, when you walk around and see the leaves falling off the trees, I want you to remember this reading if you can, and just be grateful. I am so grateful that what is no longer needed falls away. I'm so grateful that shedding parts of life is normal. I'm so grateful that the autumn leaves teach me that there are cycles and that what needs to be let go needs to be let go. Let's read our message. Looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it's your time. It's time to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. What a beautiful message. I just can't help but see like these pink flowers here match her headband. And I feel like your mind and how you've thought, and especially in your most tender inner places, that there's life there, but also it's like, do I have to take off this crown? Do I have to let this go? And I would say yes, there is something in the way you're thinking about what's possible that you do need to let become unthroned. But it's a natural process, and the divine is here to support step by step. Don't worry about how people see you. What you're going to find is that your charisma is going to shine forward and attract the coolest people to your life in this last 4 months of the year, okay? So let me just draw a card from our beautiful Avalon Magic deck for my friend Mark in Chicago. What is the card we have for Mark? Oh, there we have it. Perfect. Oh, looky there. Okay, so let's see. Wow. So what this is showing me, Mark, let's just imagine, using our imagination, imagine divine helpers speeding toward you, speeding. Okay, there's some energy that is coming from a very unexpected source. There may be someone on the other side, a human who has passed away recently, or even a human who has passed away, and you know what I mean, you know who it is, but there is great rescue flowing towards you. So, whatever's going on right now that's making you ill at ease, know that you are supported both in the light, see the white dog, in your best, and also the dark horse. There's things that are happening around your shadow side that you're not sensing right now. It may not make sense to you. On this card, look at how there's so much darkness behind her and she's coming forward. And also, this little castle, I think that's Chicago over there. And it's just like, for me, it's how spirit blows things into place for us. And that what seems like a source of difficulty can always be seen as a resource for change. Another thing, when you rise above, when you choose to put your mindset on something besides what's going on right now, look at how quiet and peaceful that sky is, right? This figure is rising above the turmoil. So let's read your blessing. As light follows darkness, so day follows night. Be patient and wait for the right opportunity to create a new chapter in your life. Wonderful message, Mark. I think that the fairies so much want to support you in accepting this inner child, to really going the distance for what was missing back then. What part of your inner child needed to hide because the growing up years were complicated? I grew up in a big Irish family, and they said, like, there was all Indians and no chief. And I know in the Midwest, there's a lot of immigrations, a lot of immigrant families that came across in the 1800s. And we are raised with a lot of unbelief and a lot of mistrust. The last little part for you, Mark, is I can't help but notice how the blue and the pink that we see in the aqua aura quartz matches these wings. And so I feel like when these wings are down, she's not fully expanded. There's something about your inner child that is important for you to know about. Okay, so definitely do some Googling. There's an inner child program. I'm working with a mentor myself. Her name is Jessica Heslop, and she's doing an inner child intensive, actually, starts tomorrow. And her YouTube channel is I Love the Life I Live. And so take a look, because any work you do with inner child will really facilitate you shining from within. All right, my friends, I am out of steam and I am needing to eat something. So I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I apologize if I didn't get to read for you, but I know every Sunday is our fairy readings. I will be back next week, and I'm going to rotate and go back to my fairy tarot deck. So if you want to create more connection with the fairies, check out the live channel, the live part of my channel. Just look through the menu. I think I have maybe 3 or 4 different fairy readings right now. I think I have 3 or 4 fairy readings that are already posted, and I welcome you to take advantage of that so that you can grow your relationship with the fairies. And so let me just take this away. And I can say to you that as I walk into the fairy garden myself and I let myself rest after these readings, I carry you in my heart. You guys know I do have a fairy garden out in the woods near my house. And occasionally I do readings outside in the fairy forest, and I can't wait to do that again on a future reading. Thank you for your generous thumbs up. Thank you for loving my work, for sharing it with your friends. And what do you think about my background today? Isn't that pretty? I want us to use our imaginations for real and to grant our own wishes for restoration, for love, for generosity, and everything we're looking for. So go forth and prosper, my dearest friends, and I look forward to our next contact. Remember that if you would like to touch base with me, I'm here for you. Shoot me an email. Bless you guys. Bye.